You know that feeling when you walk into the room and your husband's energy just drops the vibe? You're maybe in a good mood, you're humming to yourself, and then boom, he's complaining about the driver who cut him off, his boss, or the neighbor's dog. And before you know it, your mood starts to dip too. If that sounds familiar, stay right here because today we're talking about how to connect with your negative husband without losing your peace, your sparkle, or your sanity. Can you tell I'm watching the latest season of Love is Blind? Because I have Sparkle, Megan Sparkle on my mind. Most women think that if they just stay positive enough, they call it out, or they ignore him long enough, he'll eventually come around. Or maybe if they explain how his attitude affects her or you or the whole family, he'll finally get it. But here's the truth. Trying to fix someone's negativity often makes it worse. Real change doesn't come from managing his emotions or pushing him to go to therapy. It starts with your own emotional leadership. Hey, gorgeous, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so excited you found us and I hope you'll stick around. My name is Mireille Nicole. I'm a holistic relationship coach and the creator of the Happily Ever After method. In today's video, we're talking about what it really means to have a negative husband and, more importantly, how to reconnect with him in a way that actually works. I'll give you 5 things you can start doing today. Now, before I dive in, I want you to download my free relationship success checklist. It includes 25 daily actions that get you focused on what will actually transform your relationship instead of focusing on your partner's negative attitude. Okay, let's start with what it means to have a negative husband. I'm sure you know what it is, but let's see if this resonates with you. Number 1, he's always complaining about work, people, life in general. Number 2, tends to see the worst in others or in situations. Number 3, maybe he's often grumpy or irritable. It's almost like there's a permanent gray cloud over his head. And he operates from a victim mindset. So he'll declare things like, nothing ever works out, or I can't count on anyone, etc. And it's not just his words, it's his tone, his body language, his energy. You might feel like you're constantly walking on eggshells, adjusting your vibe to his mood. Now, this isn't about judging him. It's about recognizing the dynamic so you can change your response to it. It's about getting you from being triggered about his mood to practicing emotional leadership in a way that feels good and can potentially help him snap out of it. Now, I know women who have left their relationship over the man being negative. So my goal here isn't to force you to stay in a relationship that doesn't align with your vision, but I want you to know there are things you can do to gain the clarity that you need to make a powerful decision like that. There's a reason this is so frustrating for you, and I can totally relate. I'm married to a moody man, and I tend to be moody and emotional myself. Now, you're probably someone like me who's done or is doing the work, has gone to therapy, done coaching, is into self-development, journaling, boundaries, etc., all the things. Bottom line is you're growing. But when you're with someone who's constantly negative, it feels like it's dragging your growth backwards. And it starts to feel like you're not on the same page as your partner anymore. And you wonder if you're still compatible. Then you start to absorb his mood, especially if you're empathetic or highly sensitive, like I tend to be too. For many women, this can trigger codependent patterns. You start managing his emotions just so you can feel okay. And his negativity starts affecting the whole house. Maybe if you have kids too, right? The whole atmosphere, the energy. Like I said, the kids, if you have them, you might start resenting him or doubting the relationship as a whole. Now, you've probably already tried a bunch of things to fix this. I'm sure you've expressed your frustration and told him how it makes you feel. Maybe you even cried or yelled about it. Maybe you've ignored him. You've decided not to let it get to you. You've tried to stay positive, hoping your good mood would rub off on him. And you've suggested therapy or books or gratitude journals, but he's just not into that kind of stuff. And yet nothing works, nothing changes. And here's why this hasn't worked. You're still linking your emotional state to his. You're also trying to solve the problems for him. And that puts you in masculine energy and him into his feminine. One of my favorite quotes related to this topic goes something like this: if you need everyone around you to be okay for you to be okay, you'll need to hire a psychologist for everyone on this earth. When I first heard that, I was like, oh man, that is so unrealistic. And I had never looked at it that way. Like, why was I linking my moods to others? And of course, we're sensitive, we're empaths, we're attuned to our partner in our relationship. So it's normal for us to pick up on these things and feel these things, but it's what you do next with that emotion, that feeling, that matters and makes the difference. So here's what you need to remember: you can't outthink or outwork his negativity. The key is learning how to stay grounded, peaceful, and connected, even when he isn't. That's emotional leadership, and that's the foundation of deep connection and the foundation of the work I do with my clients, the first step in my happily ever after method. Like I said, my partner tends to be moody. I'm sensitive and emotional. He's a Scorpio. I'm a Cancer. I know there's more to that than astrology, but it's still a great astrological match. But we're constantly navigating waves of emotions between us. So back in the day, I didn't know how to handle this. He'd be negative, withdrawn, or even depressed. I would feel frustration, helplessness, and pressure to fix it. But that just made things worse. Luckily, when we hit rock bottom as a couple, I had a powerful realization. I can't control his state, but I can influence the dynamic. So I shifted my boundaries and my energy. I developed communication skills and learned how to argue effectively and create harmony as a couple. And that's how I developed my happily ever after method. Then everything changed in our relationship for the better, including his attitude. So let's dive deeper into this. Here are 5 things you can do to connect with your negative husband. Number 1, set emotional boundaries. There are 2 types of boundaries: internal, external. It seems the world's always talking about external boundaries. Emotional boundaries fall under internal. Those are the first types of boundaries I want you to work on. This is what you'll tolerate within yourself. These are your personal standards, your values. How do you talk to yourself? How long you allow the negativity around you to linger inside of you. For example, an internal emotional boundary can be something like, his mood's annoying me and I'll feel it for a little bit, but I won't let it ruin my whole day. His emotions are his to carry. External boundaries, on the other hand, are what you'll tolerate from others in your environment. So how much negativity outside of your control will you allow into your space before protecting your peace? And this might look like walking away, pausing, limiting certain conversations, or even having an honest talk. This isn't about punishing him. You're not his mom. Please don't be his mom. That's not attractive. It's about self-preservation and setting the emotional climate for your home in a way that's loving and compassionate. Now, the first thing I want you to do when dealing with his negative attitude is to determine how much negativity you can tolerate for your own mental well-being. That's some homework I'm giving you to do today after you finish watching this video. Number 2, practice curiosity over control. You're likely a high achiever or a type A personality like me. So your first instinct is to fix the problem. I get it. You love solutions. You love goals, achieving things. You love progress. You're probably in your masculine energy. And that was me. And it still is me in many ways. So I could say just relax into your feminine energy and let him figure it out. But I know that feels and that sounds disempowering to you. So instead, I want you to use curiosity as your feminine power. So you're doing something by using curiosity. So ask questions that invite him to reflect without him feeling judged. So for example, say things like, what do you think would make that situation better for you? You're not solving the problem for him. You're guiding him back to his own resourcefulness, his own power, his own masculinity, but you're not doing the work for him. Number 3, be on his team. Validation, not agreement. That's what you want to go for. He doesn't need you to agree with every complaint. It might seem like he wants to drag you down into his bad mood, but that's not what he needs. What he does need from you is to feel that you're on his side, that you're on his team. So when he says something negative about someone or a situation, avoid countering it with, right? Maybe they were having a rough day. I know you're being empathetic and you're an empath, but that makes him feel unheard. And I used to do that all the time. Instead, try something like, yeah, that was rude, if you agree with your partner. Or if you don't agree with him, you can say something like, oh, I can see why that would feel frustrating for you. That's validation. It's empathy without surrendering your own truth. And you become his safe place, not his opposition. Number 4, be the beacon of light. Don't try to force positivity when he's negative. That can come across as dismissive. But do reflect on your own baseline energy. Are you genuinely happy and in general, positive? Do you embody joy, gratitude, lightness, even when life isn't perfect? In the first pillar of the Happily Ever After method, I teach about how humans have mirror neurons. And when you embody calm, gratitude, optimism, you literally train the nervous system of the people around you to match it. I bet you can think about people who make you feel good just by being around them. That's the goal here. Model the energy you want to experience more of. Don't demand it. And number 5, remind him who the F he is. When he's stuck in negativity, he's disconnected from his own power. You, as his partner, have the privilege to mirror back his greatness. So instead of saying, you're always so negative, you can say something like, I've seen you handle way worse and come out stronger. Or, you're the guy who figures things out. That's what I love about you. This isn't coddling, it's calling him back to his best self. And I did a video where I go deeper and I give an example from the movie Jerry Maguire. So you'll want to watch that next. I'll link to it up here. Now, just to quickly recap for you. Number 1, set emotional boundaries, practice curiosity, be on his side, be the beacon of light, and remind him of who the F he is. Now, here's the most important part. These shifts aren't a one-time fix. You're learning a new skill set, emotional leadership, energy regulation, communication, creating harmony. So you want to do these things long enough for them to work. Now, most people say, 3 months. I've seen results much sooner with my clients and in my own relationship. Either way, keep going. It's been 7.5 years, I'd say, since the rough patch with my husband, and I still walk my talk every single day. I still practice what I preach. So make a powerful decision. Accept him fully as he is, or move on if it's truly incompatible with your peace. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation, it means maturity. A full range of emotions is actually healthy, but the relationship must have balance. It still has to feel good most of the time. Now that we've talked about how to connect with your negative husband and shift the energy in your relationship, you're going to want to take this even further. To help you put what we talked about in practice, download my free relationship success checklist. You can grab it right now through the link below. And once you've downloaded that, watch this video next where I go deeper into the 4 pillars of a healthy and fulfilling relationship. I walk you through my exact happily ever after method, the framework that took me from worrying about my relationship to feeling even more in love than we were during the honeymoon phase.